I'm back. But this episode of Tea with Rich is a little bit different. In fact, it's extraordinary. Today I'm joined by someone who represents a diverse array of scientists from across the globe. The Extraordinary Grace Initiative invited the scientific community to mentor a young girl through her career into science. She faced many obstacles along the way, but ultimately she carved her own path, with your help. Fresh from sharing her story and shaped by you, she's here with me now. Welcome, Grace, to Tea with Rich. Of course, first things first, would you care for a cup of tea?
Yeah, would love one, thank you.
Excellent. While I pour, perhaps you could answer an unusual question. Who's your favourite cartoon character and why?
I loved the nerdier characters. So Handy Smurf, Velma from Scooby-Doo, Lisa Simpson. Characters that relied on their brains instead of their brawn to solve a problem. But a real icon for me was Jodie from Daria. I don't know if you ever saw that, it doesn't matter. She was just such a beacon for speaking out against injustices, and she was also one of the very few black characters on TV that was able to acknowledge the tokenism present in her story and reject it. Not to mention, she had dreams of going to university, so the geek in me was like, yeah, that's a bit of me.
Your talk obviously went down exceptionally well with your audience, but how did you feel before, during, and after? Or, I suppose, how do you feel now?
I mean, let's be honest, there were nerves. But I knew that I had unarguable proof that we needed change and that people wanted change. I went into the talk knowing that scientists are the last people who would question such a large, reliable set of results. So I had confidence in the message, and, you know, that helped with the nerves. During, I guess I was excited. I felt that I was making a difference. And I was happy that I could show my gratitude to all those who had mentored me. And now, well, I'm sitting here having tea with you, and the message behind the talk is still spreading. So I feel proud and optimistic.
Great answer. Your talk was positive in the main part, and actually quite amusing at times, I found. But it did make me realise just how much work the scientific or STEM community has to do before it truly embraces diverse perspectives. That's my take home. But what did you want your audience to feel when they drove home or went back to their lab? Were you hoping for a shock or empowerment? Did you want people to feel angry or resolute?
Yeah, all of those things, actually. I mean, if you think about it, every person's journey into science is different. So what you found funny may have been a sad reminder to someone else, and vice versa. But that is the point of the talk, to, I guess, encourage people to think about all the other perspectives.
You covered a lot of thought-provoking material in just 10 minutes, so I appreciate this is a slightly tricky question. But if someone only had 10 seconds to spare, what would you say to them to really make them stop and think?
The thing is, and however small, our actions and words can completely change the course of someone's life and path through science, which can be positive, of course. I mean, you know, you might inspire someone, which is great, and this is very important. It can also be negative. You know, making someone feel as though they could never belong in science. I mean, whether they realise it or not, every person in STEM carries this very powerful responsibility.
Yeah, that's kind of what I understood. You distilled essentially thousands of perspectives and opinions into the change hypothesis, which I love, by the way. It's made up of three components, all crucially important, but one in particular stood out to me, perhaps because it's the one that's most neglected. and that was that bias needs a reaction. Clearly, we all have a role to play here, but what can we all do better?
I mean, I guess I would say empathy and also courage. Actually, one of my mentors said something that always resonated with me. We can't change a culture if we 100% adhere to the current culture. Empathy is so important. And it is, I mean, you know, it is hard to put yourself in someone else's shoes because what you see on the surface may not be what they're feeling inside. So advocate for others. Help them feel supported, especially if you spot a situation that may make them feel unwelcome. It takes courage to be the one, and sometimes the only one, who calls out behaviour that alienates others. So, you know, be prepared to have an awkward conversation or two, but know that your allyship could mean the world to someone.
Fantastic answer. Finally, the big question, I suppose. You became a scientist, so are you still you?
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, you know, I've been lucky enough to have mentors and role models who've always empowered me to be myself. And now it's my turn to help the next generation of scientists feel the same way. What I would add, though, is that feeling that way, that I could be myself, wasn't a fixed milestone. It was more of a continuous effort from my mentors and my peers and my colleagues. There are still setbacks. We as an industry still have a long way to go, but I really do believe that with a collective dedication to improving opportunities, bias and mentorship in STEM, those who are underrepresented will feel more and more that they belong in science.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Grace, for joining me. It's been a real pleasure.
No, of course. I've loved it. Thank you very much.
If you'd like to explore or join Grace's initiative, simply head to extraordinarygrace.com. While you do that, I'll be enjoying a nice cup of tea.